stand a little ways away. Hopefully you can hear me. Try to speak loud. I've had a lot of messages again over the winter from other people. It's kind of the same old, so I'm just going to go over it again, but I'm going to be on a horse so I can show you some of the things that I do when I have a horse that maybe doesn't want to settle at the start of the course. And I want to say again that you never take your horse to the track until they're already an archery horse in an arena or an open field. The track is not for training. The track is for an archery horse to finish their training. So I never bring a horse to a track unless I can walk and shoot, trot and shoot, canter and shoot, right and left-handed, in the arena, on the rail, no barriers. Even then, sometimes you get to the track and you get hiccups. You can keep going, Duke. We're using this as an example because Drogo wants to be dancy prancy, what you know up here.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So one of the things I get, people say, well, my horse was calm and they were going real nice. And then we started, going to the track and stuff, and then they got hot. And then in that situation, there's a lot of people giving what I think is poor advice, saying that they should just let the horse go and shoot. This is the opposite of what I would ever do with a horse in this situation. You never just let a horse go and shoot. Whatever you allow your horse to do is what you're training your horse to do. So I just want to say that again is, sometimes our track time is very limited. And I understand that when you get to the track, all you want to do is ride and shoot. And we all want to get our training, and we want to, canter and shoot and get our work done. But some days that's not the case. And if you want to have a consistent horse, you have to first sometimes just put your bow down and work on the horse. Sometimes it'll happen when you pick your bow up, and that just means that you need to ride your horse with your equipment more. So I'm just going to demonstrate a few things that I do if I have a horse that wants to charge the track. Drogo likes to charge the track, especially if his mare girlfriend is down at the end. He's a young stud. You can come on, Jess. This is an example time. And it's a lot of pressure for a horse, especially a young horse, let alone a stallion, to have horses coming and going. And everything that happens on the track also being winter time. So I was just going to try to demonstrate a little bit up here, up by the track, if I have a horse that wants to move around. And that is first, they spend time tied up at the end of the track. They spend time, I have trees over here, they spend time tied up at the start of the track so they can watch horses come and go from both sides before I ever ride them on the track. They're out here a lot and they're hand walking up and down the track. Even with all that, even if we have done everything right, there often comes a time when the horse might anticipate the canter work. Hang on, there's an airplane, it's kind of loud. And then that's where I will make sure that my horse can stand at the track. So right now, even he's kind of, he's fidgety. He wants to go do something. And the one thing that I will do is I'll bring them up to the track. And we'll stop and face the track. Now he automatically, see how he wanted to just march right on up there. He likes his job. He wants to go. He wants to go down the track. I'm not going to let him go to the track. What we want is for them to be able to stand here without moving. Sometimes the horse doesn't want to. So in that case, if they're not paying attention, then we'll do a lot of give me your butt, get their brain, give me your shoulder. I also have these trees up here. I have those trees up there. We'll do a lot of serpentines and figure eights and getting the horse to stop and stand calm. Only then, once they can stand calm, if we've done our move the butt, move the shoulder, figure eights. Only then can they walk down the track. And then again, we work our way up with no bow, 2 equipment and shooting. But the number one thing you don't want to do is if your horse is pulling on your hands, don't let them go down the track. You're clear. So this is why I'm using Drogo for this, because I kind of knew it's cold and we have horses on the track. Some mares or some are geldings. He wants to follow them. He wants to go with them. He wants to go down the track. I will also, I'll cut the video now a couple times because I'm going to take him down the track and show you, we'll see how we start, and then if we need to, I can see how I bring him out of a charge if he decides he wants to charge down the track. Although maybe I'll just go and then back up. That'll be good. Here, we'll do this. Hang on, Jess. All right, so we're at our full stop. My legs are off. I'm sitting. Nope. He decided to go without me asking. He gets to wait. Looking forward, not down the track. These are all things you want to look for. Look for what your horse is looking at. I should be able to walk off, go down my track, do my thing. We're not through the poles yet, so I'm going to stop him and back him. And then let Jess go. Go for it, Jess. So he decided to kind of look at Woody. So the first thing we're going to do is surrender the hind. Now, I do have a rule, and that's you start your gait on the corner, walk, trot, or canter. Whatever you enter those posts at is what you exit at. So I will not haul on the brakes and stop them dead middle of the track. You know, I make sure that first we have a good departure. If I need to stop them, it's before we enter the posts. And then we can back up, try again. If we need to, get our shoulders, get our butt, try again. But never will I let them charge and enter those posts after charging. Okay, let's see, we got a gap here. Try a little trot transition. You can go, Elise. Okay, so he actually did that pretty good. I asked him to trot. He didn't charge down. This time I might actually, when after Duke comes up, I'm going to trot him down and let him trot, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I was just trying to show the transitions at the start. And if we'll see if Drogo gives me a bad example. That's kind of what I was hoping. We'll see. I mean, I'm not hoping for. But first I need to warm him up and trot him. Okay, so this time I'm going to trot him and let him go down the track so we can actually warm up. Because then he'll know that for us, usually our warm up, the next one means that we're going to canter. My reins are in a knot. He's standing, no pressure, he's waiting. This means we get to actually enter the track now. So his trot went well. Again though, and he's actually not being, doesn't have a hump in his back. He's not being too ornery. But up here, even just resetting the phone, you know, my neighbor's pressure washing, and he's got a lot of stuff going on in his little mind. So I'll just keep bending him and move his butt. You know, and just get him to the point where he's going off my leg and his head is down and he's not pulling on my hands. We'll let Elise go, and then we're going to try a canter transition and we'll see what he does. Sometimes he can be chargy. We'll see. It's cold, it's winter. We have not cantered down the track yet, so you might get to see kind of how I'll prepare him, start him. Again, I'll bring him down and bring him back also if he picks up a right lead, because I'm trying to make sure, and he's a right lead dominant horse. So that's something else I have to do often. This horse is also right lead dominant. And yep, he picked it up. Kind of a punk sometimes. Okay. If I have a right lead dominant horse, I'll often prepare them by coming up and making sure that we're at a little bit of an angle so that I can bring their butt over, prep them, line them up on that foot, turn their nose in, and ask for that transition. So he actually had a not bad departure. He didn't bolt. He did halfway down decide to leap in the air and do a flying lead change and pick up his right lead. So couldn't see that, but we'll keep working on that. I'm going to do it again. Sometimes after we've done one canter, if he's taken off nicely, sometimes the second canter, he'll get a little chargy. So we'll see if he does that this time. I might try to angle this. Go ahead, at least if you want to. See if I can angle this a little bit more down the track. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Maybe you can see me. We'll see. All right. So I've got him at my angle. Make sure. Okay, good. He's standing. If he decided to be fidgety, I would probably turn, make him move his butt, move his shoulder, back him up, do some serpentines, whatever I need to until they can come and stand here nicely and wait without looking down the track or looking at the horses coming. All right, we're going to try that departure again. Again. Good, just make sure we go. Whoop, don't slip off. Make sure we got his booty and our lift off. So, I don't think you can see the poles. He did give me actually, he went off, didn't give me an initial charge. He did have a little burst, little bugger, right before the poles. So you couldn't really see that part, but in that situation, whether you're shooting or not, again, if your horse is doing this at the start of the course, first of all, never shoot, ever, 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 ever. If he gave me this little burst right at the start, right as I went through the poles. It's like he held it, and then he decided to give me a little yeehaw. And all I did was just sit and hold and check him. And then he gave me actually a pretty decent canter, and he didn't do his goofy flying lead change in the middle. So we're going to keep working that, and I'll just see how many transitions I can show, and then I'll let you know when I think I had one that was good. But these last two really haven't been that bad. Be too dark for you to see me now. The sun keeps changing. I'm backing him up because he decided to try to push through my hands quite a bit. So we're working on a nice soft back. Don't get emotional, don't get mad, don't pick a fight, just back him up. Pull on the brakes, get him stopped, back him up nicely, practice backing your arc. Yeah, go for it, Chia. It's not like this is new to him. This is just a fresh winter horse with lots of energy energy, deciding they want to charge it, and this is when you have to put your time with them first. Even though this is maybe one of the very few handful of sunny, dry days we're getting out on the track, I'm not going to shoot off of him unless I know his transition is clean and we're cantering clean. Okay, let's back up, leave ourselves a little more space again. So that one was pretty good. He was a good boy. Might be too dark for you to see. And it was probably also his best walk back also. He wasn't looking at the other horses as much. He kind of looked back on his path. And so at that point, I would start carrying a bow and going through the transitions again, lots of knocking, and just, depending on the horse. And if he started charging, then I would get back to riding. And we would be out, depending on the time, I just kind of keep going until I can get a nice transition, smooth before the gates, consistent canter all the way through the gates, and a stop at the end. Our rules here are you stop before you enter, and whatever gate you enter those starting posts at is what you exit at. So if you're at a walk, you stay at a walk. If you're at a trot, you stay at a trot. If you're at a canter, you stay at a canter. I never vary it in between the gates. And after we exit the gates, we always come to a complete square stop before we exit. So square stop, loose rein before you enter. Square stop, loose rein before you exit. If you can't get the square stop, loose rein before you enter, then you're going to do a lot of work up here at the start of the course. And like I said, sometimes maybe they're doing it great in the arena, maybe they're doing it great on your open trail course or whatever, but they get right here, right here at the very start of the track can sometimes be the most frustrating place for a lot of riders. And a lot of riders just kind of give up, and then people tell them, oh, just let your horse go and shoot. I can't say it enough. Don't do it. You work your horse. You do your turn on the fore, your turn on the hind, figure eights. I have those 2 trees with tons of roots and sticks. Figure eights around the trees and sticks. Let horses come and go and come and go. And even if you just spend all day out there, every day, eventually your horse will learn that they can stand there. And you can do it in hand, and then you can do it under saddle, and work your way up. And if your horse then also maybe starts off nice, but speeds up as you go in the track, slow the horse down. Stop shooting, slow the horse down. Now don't slow down to a trot. Let them learn that they have to maintain gait and maintain speed in that gait, whatever you enter. If you decide you want a slow canter, then they stay in a slow canter. If they start to speed up, you stop shooting, you keep that horse in a slow canter all the way through the end, every time. Even if it's 12 runs of you, maybe you get your first couple shots and then they speed up, slow them down, or take them back to no shooting, slow, consistent canter, clapping, everything until you are loose rein, slow, consistent canter, and then start shooting again. And then if they start doing, you guys start shooting, then go back. And you're going to have to ping pong back and forth. And it takes sometimes a lot of time for a lot of horses. Some horses pick it up super easy. Some horses are smart, and they also know. They know when you're vulnerable. And sometimes just like children, they'll test those limits. And whatever you allow them to do, you're teaching them that that's okay to do. And you can't just let your horse go one time and then say, oh, no, you need to go slow now. That's not how it works. You have to have slow as a default before you can progress to fast. The slow timing out canter should be a good default for your horse. And then from there, you can speed your horse up and then set them to whatever speed you want. But starting off fast and going slow is much more difficult. So calm at the start, walk, trot, and canter, smooth departures, make sure that they're not pulling your hands. By the time you can have all that time, wherever you have before your starting gate, you have that amount of time to set your horse. And that's where your horse learns that this is where you set them. And then you should be able to have a consistent run and an easy stop at the end. If your horse is running out and you have to circle, then you better gather up your reins before you exit that and start slowing your horse down so that they know every time when you exit that gate that they are required to stop. There's a lot of dangerous horsemanship going on out there, and I've seen a lot in videos and pictures and, you know, of these kinds of habits, charging into the track, bolting out of the track, you know, and people getting a few shots off, but they're not doing anything to keep their horse safe, you know, to let their horse know that they're in charge, you know, that they're setting them. And there's a lot of people, oh, my horse just likes going fast. Well, it's true. Some horses get a high off of going fast, but that doesn't mean you should let them take charge and take control of the track. You know, that's up to you. And it's very important for not only for the safety of you, but for the safety of your horse and the safety of those around you. Because once your horse gets fast, often they get hotter and hotter and faster and faster. And this is why I get these emails of, oh, Katie, you know, my horse was good, now they're fast. What do I do to slow them down? I say, well, you slow them down. Well, I want to shoot. Well, you slow down your horse. That's my best answer. If you want a horse that's going to be your partner for the long run, that you can go to competitions and you can go do any course, that is, you know, you have to put your horse first. Check in with them. Don't shoot. Yes, you should learn to knock faster. It's important to learn to knock faster. But if your horse starts going fast, don't just learn to knock faster. Bring your horse down. Okay, we're going to go shoot. Stop, canter, stop. Let's move your butt. Booty. Well, good thing you caught that one on video. Okay, so he wasn't bad, you know, other than blowing off my right leg and picking up his right lead. Now we get to work our track. Never any fun. Oh, soggy there. Soggy on that side. Okay, let's try again. Oh, life is so hard. No. But like at one point, Drogo, you know, and he had picked up the left lead, but he charged like right at the poles. I was like, no.